Okay, so for all of you, welcome in this presentation online meeting. This is not a Teams meeting, this is an online meeting, meaning that if you have questions, you can use the Q&A that you can see on top of your screen, and you can post your questions, remarks, whatever there. Um, I cannot unmute you. You cannot unmute yourself, so all communication will go via the Q&A window today. We'll see for next sessions if we can also allow you to speak during the presentations. So welcome on this update on Stream 1 Ion, Season 2, Episode 1. Let's start and see what it will bring. So if you have questions, don't forget to use the Q&A window. I have it open so I can see whatever you are doing. Topics of the day, something about vendors, working with quotes in Stream 1 Ion, reports more in detail. We already had the reports touched slightly, but I want to go more in detail on reports. And usual stuff, the brain shock, the upcoming events, and then the Q&A. But don't wait for Q&A. As I said, do it in the Q&A window. So something on the vendors in the platform. So we all know today we have the three top vendors in the platform being Microsoft, Google, and AWS, Amazon. Already also available is BitTitan, AvePoint, and Acronis. And recently added is IBM. So if you have IBM business, you can also now transact it via the Stream 1 Ion platform, meaning cloud business, not hardware, not servers from IBM. So the cloud license from IBM can also be done via Stream 1 Ion these days. Just ask for the program. Upcoming checkpoint, maybe this week or next week, and a bit later in September, Proofpoint, not that much used in Belgium apparently, but also coming available. And you see more and more vendors will be added to the platform. As usual, when I do a demo in the next sessions, it will be Microsoft centric. But everything that I show will be also usable in other vendors. If not, I will clearly mention it. First of all, so working with quotes and quotes to a customer. Let's start with that. So you have a customer who asks, what would be the price for XYZ? And then you want to make an offer for that person. So today you go into the price list or whatever, you make an Excel sheet or a PDF, and you send it out to the partner or to the customer. Well, you can use Stream 1 Ion also to create quotes to the customer and also have the customer accept the quote. So basically, create a quote for one customer or multiple customers. Imagine you want to do an action, you say, okay, let's go to Business Premium. For all my customer over 5 or 6 customers, you can create a quote for those 5 in one shot and then send it out to the customers. How you get started? From the marketplace card, save card for later, what you can do. It's already long in the system, keeping the card there for 30 days. You can reactivate the card. You can still change everything within it. And then you can order, place the order, or you can create the quote, or directly from in the quotes module. So let me go to the platform, Stream 1 Ion. For sake of time, I have prepared something already. Where is my browser now? So here it is. So as you all know, so I'm in the card, my usual customer, as you all know, Stevie. So I created a card, and you see that I saved it for later. How do you do that? Well, when you're in the card, you just save it for later, give it a name, and that's it. So let me reactivate this card. So my card is loading, meaning that I'm now transferring it from the waiting bin to the actual card with the products, and I can still do all changes that I would like to do to that configuration. But I can do it now because that's not the topic of our presentation. Takes a couple of minutes. As always, when you do a demo, everything is going slower. So this is basically what's in the card: 10 business standards, 10 Intune Plan 1, and 10 Defender for Office 365. So customer wants to think about it. So I'm going to create a quote. And not so quote for a specific customer. And then you give it a name. Let's take mine. Okay, and I also want to do this for another customer called our Dutch friends. And there I'm going to send a quote to the default user. So I can create quotes for multiple users or multiple customers at the same time. I give it a name during the update date 25, 28, 25. Yes, it's a palindrome day. Next. So let me clear it out. So I have now 2 customers selected, being Stebby and being, where is it now? Stebby and our Dutch colleagues or Dutch friends. Next. I'll give it a reference number, whatever. 2508 25 00998. Dates, so when it will become active, 25th of the month, so today basically, and you can give it an expiry date. Now, always be careful with expiring dates, as prices might change. Your offer will retain the prices as they are in the offer. So if you validate the offer or offer gets validated, it will be on the prices that are in the offer. So if your vendor does a price increase between you creating the offer and the validation, you might have a financial issue. So roughly we say put it till the end of the month. For instance, now it's the 5th, so I want to have this for 6 days. If you say Microsoft is not, or your vendor did not announce any updates for the next coming 3 months, then you can go with further. You can put some text and the quote description, please find blah, blah, blah. You have 3 templates that you can use to send a mail out to your customer. So the default, loyalty, when you say, okay, I want to have a better price, and then another template that you can use to send out your quotes. I'm going to take the first one. So I'm going to use that quote. You can also add attachments. If you say I have a specific leaflet about the product or some documentation that I want to send with the quote, you can do it here by adding a attachment. Okay. Next. So as you see, I have 2 customers. Watch the prices. So I'm now in Stebby 7. Yes. If we go to our Dutch friends, the prices should change a bit. Oh no, in the playfield. Yeah, you see here the customer price. You see it changing. This is because other price books are assigned to those customers. So you see that we adhere the price book logic within the quotes. As we all know, a business standard plus Intune Plan 1 plus Office 365, basically meaning that it is business premium that they want. So let's add a scenario, add a product. We want to look for business premium. And it is in a year that I took it, if I'm not mistaken. And it's 10 pieces, I want the same quantity. Okay, price calculated, add to scenario. So now we have 2 scenarios in both quotes. And obviously you can make more scenarios if you'd like to. You can add multiple vendors into one quote. It doesn't really matter. Oh, it took an annual. So, okay, but that's just me making a mistake now. So you can add more scenarios into the quote if you would like to. Next. Quote name, reference, see whatever you are. Is the information correct? Yeah, 1 scenario, 2 scenarios. That's it. Submit a quote. So now an email goes out to the default address of the customer saying that the quote is active. And I'm going to try to find the quote for you in my mailbox. So it will arrive in a couple of minutes. So the quote is created and is available now to be reviewed. If I go to the quotes, you see here now I created 2 lines during the update, one for Stevie and one for other friends. If you say, oh, I forgot a customer, just put on the duplicate button and then you can just add a new customer for the same template. So let me show you what's happened. So I received this email now with a quote. Stevie 7, we would like to inform you with a quote, and that's the link to the quote. I'll come back to the link later. So this is where it's coming from. Obviously, if you have your templates configured, use your own email domain. It will be your email domain, not coming from TD Synnex. Okay, so the quote is now at the customer, and they can start reviewing it if you would like to. Let's go in again into the same quote. I could do. You can also download it as a PDF or an XLS or a CSV. You can quite easily say, okay, I want to open. So this is how the quote looks like in a PDF format with the 2 scenarios, with the prices, with everything the customer needs to know. So basically creating a quote, rather simple, just add to the products, add some scenarios, and then you can start working with the quotes or send out the quotes. Okay, so where am I in the presentation? So this is done. You can at any moment save a draft of a quote. So what does that mean is that if you're in the quotes module, you can have a draft. So at every step, you maybe saw it when I created the draft, the quote, you could just open it and then continue with the next steps. And again, say, okay, and I'm going to save it again, confirm and exit. So I now added a new step into my draft of my quote. So as long as I'm within the quote on every step, I can pose it and put it as a saved version or a draft version within the quotes environment. Drafts can be viewed, can be edited, or can be duplicated. Again, if you want to make a deviation, you have 2 customers with the same quote, but one is, for instance, other quantities. You can create one quote, put it in a draft, or put in the quote, and then duplicate it and change the information. So select a customer. So the contact person will receive the mail, fill out the forms, valid date, be careful. As I said, the dates when price increases, the price on the quote will be adhered when the quote is validated. And select the correct email template. Create scenarios. Create the products, add the products if you would like to. As we saw, according to defined price book for the customer. Prices can be adjusted. I didn't show that, but it's the same when you do a normal purchase. You can give extra price or decrease or increases if you would like to in your quote, and then you just submit the quote. We've seen that slowly in the presentation or in the demo. Once the quote is done, it can be viewed, it can be accepted, and acceptance is finalized when the order is placed. So as long as no one pushed the order now button, the quote is still active as a quote. As I said, we sent the quote to the customer. If you use the white label front store, the customer can also validate the quote in there. Where am I? No order has been placed yet. It's all being done. Oh, okay, now what I did. Save. That's my mistake. I've changed something here this morning, and now obviously things are not working the way I would like to. Okay, here it is. So I open it in a private window. Why? Because it's basically going to the same environment. I log on as the customer, which is this one. Again, most probably MFA will be required, as I thought. Authenticator. This one. 643 243, too late. Okay, so here in quotes now, as a customer, this is the quote that we created just now. I can go in. The process here is exactly the same for the customer as if you would do it. So you go into the quote, you see the scenarios. So the customer calls you and says, oh, I want to have scenario 2. Or when he has access to the white label front store, he goes in himself, takes scenario 2 and says accept. You can still hear, we need to say scenario 2, confirm. So we're now reviewing the complete quote. It will go into the basket place of the market, the cart of the customer. You see the product. If you have multiple products, obviously they will be there. As you will also see that no changes can be done on the quantities, nor can a product be taken out of a quote. So the quote is always the full quote. And the customer says, you have 5 products, but I don't need product 4. You cannot use the quote to validate the purchase. So as you know, confirmation pending, you go in, say here, yes, continue. And now I can say, place your order when it's done. You might have seen quickly that I took off the catalog in the white label storefront, meaning that the customer cannot purchase any product. He can only now purchase products which are made available via quote. It can be important in some scenarios where you have the customers given access to the white label front store, but you don't want them to buy anything. Basically, you can create a quote for them. They can validate and then buy it themselves in the white label storefront. So I don't push accept now. Let me go to my environment as a reseller. I go to quotes. And you will see the quote is still pending response because I didn't push order now in as a customer in the environment. Once it's done, you get accepted status and you see, okay, the product has now, or the quote has now been accepted either by the customer, either by you. And you can see that then in the orders, you can see who has placed the order. So you can see it's the customer or it's someone of your colleagues that has accepted this quote. So the normal way of working with Stream1 Ion. So if you buy an order, I don't know which one it was anymore. Oh, this was one order. You see in tune, one accepted, and you can see who done it. Basically, this is the local user as a reseller. If you accept it as a customer, the customer name will be there, as you see here, the BL buyer, which is the customer. Normal way of working with Stream1 Ion, that didn't change. The only thing is that we didn't start from the marketplace. We start from a quote to buy or to start buying products. Okay. If the quote validation date is over, basically it expires and then you cannot use it anymore. You can still view it. I think didn't try that. Yeah, you can still view it, but it doesn't have any value anymore. If the customer pushes on the link, which was here, so if I push on the link, I go to this white label front store and then white label storefront, and then I can do the same manipulation as I did before, accept the quote or just leave it as it is. Okay. Any questions, remarks, please? As I said, use the Q&A window. I don't see anything there. No. Okay. So by the customer, as saw in the white label storefront, they go go to the quotes module, follow the link in the email, or follow the link in the email received. Quite simple. That's the way they can access the quote. They accept the desired scenario. The cart will be filled. No change can be made, and then they finalize the purchase, which is place your order. An acceptation is done, so the status to accept it is done when the order is placed, so when the customer pushed the order now button. As said, if the catalog function is disabled, the customer can purchase products from a quote, but cannot just select any product from the full catalog. Okay, that were quotes to a customer. Quotes to a lead. Okay. The only way to create it is from within the quotes module. It's purely email based, so you just have to enter. They're not customers yet, they're not known in Stream1 yet because they are leads. So you just work with email addresses. You fill out the form again with the validation date. The offer will remain the prices as is, but here as there is no direct link with Stream1, so they cannot accept the quote as is within the platform. Select the correct mail template, create scenarios eventually, add products to each scenario, price according to defined price book. Oh, sorry, this is wrong, but the price can be adjusted, that is right. So the line, I will take it out of the presentation before we send it out. So this line, price according, that's wrong because there is no price book as it's no customer. And then you submit the quote. So how does it look like in the platform? So quotes, as you saw, I have a draft created. This one, let's edit it. So you see here recipients. I have multiple recipients. Just by adding here another one, let's take Lawrence at thecinix.com. It's not the correct email address, by the way. So if you have multiple customers, multiple email addresses, just add them here, push and enter, and then they become a valid email address. You see here on top that it is quotes, quote to a lead, a quote to customer. That's basically the basic difference to start the product. Then we go to next. We fill out this information. There's only fill out this information with the days. There is only one email template available for these leads quotes. And then you add product as it is here, Android mobility security per default. And you see on the bottom, the price shown to the customer is your purchase price. Looks weird. This edition made currently. We're working to see whether you can switch it over or to give you the opportunity to switch yourself. But today, the default price is your purchase price as the customer price. So you would need to change the price with a price adjustment, where you can see that I want to have a markup of 10%. Apply, and you see the price goes up with 10%. And this goes then into the quote. I can have multiple scenarios. We saw that. Okay, I need to click it here to confirm. Next. So it is ready to be sent out. It goes to these email addresses. Submit a quote. Confirm. Now, obviously, the link in the email will not be to the white label storefront, because it's not a customer, so they don't have access. The link you get now is the link to a PDF that can be downloaded from our environment. So let's see if the mail comes in. Let's give it a couple of seconds. And again, I can duplicate it. So, oh, I forgot one lead. You can duplicate it. Or you have a quote like made it 3 months ago. You need exactly the same quote. You can go in. Let's see what I've done. If it is expired. The test taken expired. Let's duplicate it while we're waiting. And you can see you can start all over, select other customers or use the same customers because, hey, I forgot to accept it. So you can just duplicate it and start working from that quote again to your customers. If I think I made a mistake in the email address. Let's take an older one then. Okay, let's take this one from yesterday. So basically, this is a quote that I received as a lead. I click on it, and it will open the link to the PDF, which you can then open or save or whatever you want to do with it. So again, there is no direct link with Stream1 Ion back, so it cannot be accepted and entered automatically in the system. If the customer or the lead accept this, you need to create a customer. You need to fill the card. You cannot automatically fill the card based on this quote. But you can create a quote based on information that is available in Stream1 Ion. Okay, let's see what the presentation says. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Okay. So the only way a customer can accept is basically send you an email to say accept or send an email or a fax or whatever they can do to inform you that the quote needs to be accepted and is validated. Okay. Questions on quotes? Remarks? Again, put them in the Q&A window. If that wouldn't work, please let us know. Lawrence, for instance. Lawrence, can you put something in the Q&A just to check that it works? In the meantime, I continue. The next topic is reports. As said, it has been touched already slightly, but I want to go a bit more in depth into the report section of Stream1 Ion. Okay. I want to concentrate on the billing reports. I don't want to concentrate on other reports. Today, there are more available. So the billing reports, why? Because basically you can use them to verify your invoice, or you can start billing your customers based on this information, even if you didn't receive our invoice yet. So for the major vendors, we have their own reports, or major vendors have their own report, meaning you will find the billing report for AWS, one for Google Cloud products, and one for Microsoft CSP. So there they have their own fully vendor-specific billing reports. For other vendors, you have the SaaS billing customer report, basically, like for BitTitan, Acronis, you will find the billing information in there. Also, if you still have Microsoft Legacy or you had Microsoft Legacy, you will find it in the SaaS billing report, where you find that information. For every type of report, one basic report is foreseen, which you can then modify, copy, and customize as much as you would like to. So the build of a report is you have groupings, meaning that I can, and I will show you a report in a couple of minutes. So you can use groupings to say, I want to have all information of one customer put together. So you make a group of a customer and number billing type, because they have yearly monthlies and yearlies, and I want to make it clear that it is yearly. Or per product, they have business premium yearly and monthly. I want to have them next to each other, so you can do that into the proper grouping. Then you can add columns, whatever you want, and whatever is available as a column, you can add. Sometimes columns will give you more lines in your report because you create more details in the report. And I will show you what I mean, for instance, with the billing types and billing cycle information into a report. Filters. If a field is filterable, it's automatically add into the filters line on top, and you can update that filter information using the report. The date range, per default, we put them on last month because hey, when you get an invoice, it's last month's information that's on there. But you can put whatever information you would like or whatever date range you would like into the environment. And you can also add other fields that are not default into the billing information. For instance, your PO numbers, they're on a different table in Stream1 Ion, but you can add them into the reports if you would like to. It's a two-step process. First, nominating the fields to be available in the reports, and then add the field into the report columns. When done, you save the report, you give it a name, or if it's already named, you just overwrite it. Report grouping, so every information you create will be saved. The filters you create will be saved into the report, and the date range will be saved into the report. So if you say last month, when the moment you save it, when you open the report in September, you will get August information. If you open it in October, you have September information. If you say as date range 1st of August to the 31st of August, if you open in October, you get the 1st of August to the 31st of August. So a difference between using a fixed date range and using the last month as your date range. How can you then consume it? You go to reports module, you select the report group and then the result report, or you use a direct URL. Every report has a unique URL which you can use, and you can send that out. Or for instance, the accounting, they don't need to go into Ion, to Stream1 Ion to make a purchase. You only need to go in to verify the invoice. You send them to link, and every month they click the link, go into Stream1 Ion. They have to log on, obviously, and they go straight to the report. You don't need to go to all the menus and clicking left and right to get the report done for them. And you can export a CSV, where it's important that the columns, the grouping, becomes columns in CSV file or in your final XLS. Just also remember when you export it in US format, so meaning that the decimal separator and the thousand separator is different than ours. The point and the comma, I need to inverse them to go to our numbers. If you use Power Query to import in, that would be done automatically. So let me show working with reports. Let's go back to my Stream1 Ion. Here it is. Discord changes. So reports, you see I have a lot of them. Let's go to the Microsoft CSB billing customer report, and then I take the charge details. As you will see, so this customer has both Azure and Modern Workplace. You will see that in my report, there is no Azure. Why? Because this is something I know. When you go to the reports, the publisher name, Microsoft Corporate is all, which is Modern Workplace and NCE. If I also select Microsoft and I apply filters, you will see that there is an Azure line if the consumption was done last month. See here now we have Azure available also within the same product. So by adding the correct filters, you might filter out some data left and right from your report options. Let me put the report filter back. So I don't want Microsoft, I want Microsoft Corporation, apply filters. As you saw, you can also filter on a specific customer. You can filter on basically if a field is filterable, you will see it automatically in the report filters up here. Yes. Groupings, manage report grouping. So the grouping is basically this thing that you can fold open. You see I put it on the customer, then the product type, and then the commitment. And then I get all the information, which are then the columns that you can select. And you have the date range, it's last month. Let's put it a bit wider. Custom, let's put it on last year. So August 24. That's what we did it in the full year, August 24 the 1st till July 31st. So this is a full year of consumption. Again, only Microsoft and CE in this report now. So no Azure because the filter is on. And you will see that I have a lot of lines with a lot of information. You can see here in the charge type, renew, auto-renew, add quantities, and remove quantities. So it's a lot of information. In the slide, I said that adding fields can give you more and removing fields get you less information. So if I go here into options, manage report columns, and I remove the charge start date, the charge end date, and the charge type, and I do an update of the report. So same date range, same filters, just by adding or removing those fields, you will see that now I have much less lines. This is basically the full year numbers and not the split up per billing cycle that is now in the report. So here you can play with less or more details showable in your environment. The URL is here. So if I copy the URL, I open a new browser, Control V, there it is. I'm already logged on, system recognizes me. And it goes into the information as it is saved. I made some changes, columns, report filters, date range. I didn't save that. So it goes to the information that it was saved before, meaning that last month with the filter set to only use Microsoft and CE licenses here and no Azure consumption whatsoever. So there's an easy way to access reports just to someone who doesn't need to work with Ion, but they want to have reports. Just send them the URL and they can use it every month again. Next month it will be exactly the same URL because basically we go to the report, we go to not to a specific version of the report. Okay, so when it's done, you can save it, give it another name, create new report. Just give it another name, you say save, and then you have another version to start working on to give more or less the details. Let me close this browser, let me close the quote. And then you see here, if I go back to my reports, basically what I've done is you have the charge details and the consolidated, the same report, but basically with the split per billing cycle, and this without the split of billing cycle. Just same information, but two different reports, so I don't need each time to switch on and off those fields. Okay. Oh yes, and exporting a CSV, well, you know how that works. Let me show it anyway. I like to do it. So the charge details. I'm going to use a different way, the difficult way, by using just opening Excel and then convert the CSV to an Excel. So I have this information. So this is grouping, and this is grouping. Let me export it to a CSV. I open it. A file. This file. It only has 3 lines, but okay, that's not the major issue here. So I have 3 lines. Let me convert this to a, so as I said, a difficult way, text to columns, it's delimited, it's comma separated. Okay, finish, and you will see that the product name, so the customer product name and the billing cycle are just columns in my CSV. There is not this principle of grouping together because that would make it very difficult to consume the Excel file. What you also see is now that my cost is somewhat off. I didn't put something on 385,000 euros, so let's convert it back. Okay, text to columns, it's still delimited, commas, advanced, Let's put it point here and a comma here. Okay, finish. And now you will see that my numbers are a bit more realistic. So don't forget or use Power Query to import the Excel sheet, and it would go easier on the comma point discussion. Okay. Questions, remarks on reports? No. Oh yeah. Okay. Great. So please put the Q&A to pose your questions if you would have some. That's basically the topic of the day. Now, the normal closing. Don't forget our brain shock, where you can get all those trainings available. Sorry, that's my mistake. Let me go back to the brain shock first, where you can get all this information, and more. Since I made this slide, more trainings have been added on all those trainings. You see here VM, so for SoftPoint, whatever. You see all those informations available for you. As a consumable training, it's usually videos of 5-6 minutes that you can go in and just read or follow the video. Upcoming events. A nice one, or they're all nice one, obviously. So Accelerate with Microsoft Copilot event. When you get the handout, you can just click on it and you go directly into the registration form of the event. The AI tasting track, very interesting because there is chocolate being used or being created at the spot. So if you want to have the experience of a nice, clear, new chocolate and how it's baked and molded and stuff like that, visit our seminar in Aalst on the 2nd of October, and obviously our Cloud Summit on the 9th of October, where we have very interesting speakers. Please go into the website of the summit and you will see what the program is. It's almost finalized, but there are some very interesting speakers also outside of the IT world to give some more feedback on how IT is being used and how they look into the world as a non-IT person running and doing stuff like that. Webinars, if you are looking into security, you want to bring your customers more security, sell more services to your customers, how can Business Premium help you? Well, this is webinar 23rd of September. And then last but not least, obviously, next month, Monday 29th, 1 o'clock, the next update session. And I should have some very, very important big change in the platform on that date. We are finalizing our tests. We found some small defects, but normally by the end of September, this should be live. And it's a very, very important change that's coming up into the platform. Okay, questions, Q&A. There are some new posts. Okay. Question is, where can we find these links? I think it's to the webinars, or to the events. In the handout, the link should be in there. So in the handout, if you just click on the frame with the events, you can just register there. There is also on the top is the link of the full list of events, also non-Microsoft or non-Cloud events will be there if you click on the normal link. But obviously, I just filtered it out of our interests. Okay, question from Chris. Any news on scheduled ordering functionality? Well, yes, there is news. Basically, it's at the moment a bit in the fridge. Reason is that we want to keep as much as possible parity with Microsoft. One, and secondly, it's a liability in a sense that we need to create a separate database for it and make sure that the database gets run on time, on the correct date, with the correct information. And if in between two, if more than one change is scheduled, it's at the moment a small issue that we cannot trigger. I don't want to go into all details, but currently it's not in the fridge. It's being reworked because we found some defects in there. But it's more hard than we expected to be. But we're working on that. More important, another change is quantities to be able to change in the white label front store, so that customers cannot just order anything, not so filtering on product build or filtering on quantities of products. We found that a bit more important than the schedule changes. Sorry for that, Chris, but that's the way worldwide conversations is done within Stream 1 Ion. But a very good question. If no more questions, remarks, you can always find us at hyperscaler.be@datacynix.com or microsoft.be@datacynix.com. For all the vendors, even if the vendor is not treated within our team, like IBM and Acronis, they are not. I see that Acronis is missing on the slide. So IBM and Acronis are not treated within the team. But if you have a question on those, just send it to us and we will forward it to the correct team to get your answers. If not for now, very, very thank you for being here. I will work with Jana and Avi to get the slides out today, latest tomorrow, and also the recording will be made available for you, I think, as a download. So with the link, you can find it. Thank you very much for being here. Have a nice day. And again, if you have questions, hyperscaler.be@datacynix.com. Thank you very much.